Hi everyone. No, not yet. Het is een lang tijd. This is what I'm going. Hi. Hi everyone. It's time to start again. We're running already again a little late. And I'm going back to my mantra from those 2 days. Please, would you be so kind to come and sit in the middle, in the center, not up there, not at the left or the right. Because for the panel, for everyone, it's nicer to, you know, to don't have to look like this, and it looks very empty. So please, be kind and come over to me in the middle. Because we have this very, very interesting and I think very important, if not the most important session of the EuroDIG, because we're going to listen to the youth. So, because there are some youth messages, and I really like to hand over my microphone to Taya, to give the floor to her and to present those youth messages for all the work you've been done the past few days. So please come up to the stage, and everybody, last call, please come sit in the center, because they did a lot of good work.
Thank you very much, Marjolein. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely my pleasure to welcome you here today to this session in which EuroDIG participants will be presenting to you the youth messages. My name is Nadia Chechia, and I'm the representative for Western Europe and the Others Group for the Youth Coalition on Internet Governance and a member of the EuroDIG Planning Committee. I first would like to give the floor to Elisabeth Schauermann from the EuroDIG Secretariat in liaison to the EuroDIG Planning Committee to introduce EuroDIG.
Thank you, Nadia. Youth programs have a long history at EuroDIG and are actually an institutionalized part of the process every year. So we try to bring in each year a group of approximately 30 young people from across Europe, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, and provide them with a 2 or 3 day internet governance experience leading up to the EuroDIG of that year. This year we actually did 3 days for the first time, which was exciting. The program is always shaped by former participants of EuroDIGs, and we really try and provide a space to network, to navigate internet governance discussions, to formulate these messages, and to really make the voices of young people heard throughout EuroDIG by empowering them to speak up. The whole process of EuroDIG benefits a lot by receiving inputs from young people, from the next generation, so to speak, and our goal is to provide them with entry points through EuroDIG. So an entry point to the discussions through capacity building and the program that we built, an entry point to the community by bringing participants in touch with key stakeholders such as our subject matter experts, but also representatives of the Council of Europe. And this year we even had the opportunity to meet Commissioner Maria Gabriel, which was amazing for all of us. And we really hope that EuroDIG also is an entry point for the participants to come back to EuroDIG, take on other roles in the upcoming years, and keep on working on the topics that they're interested in. We really hope that it's an opportunity for them to transfer their knowledge and their expertise to their local contexts, but also to other internet governance forums, such as the upcoming IGF in Berlin, where the messages will feed into the discussion as well.
Thank you very much. I would now like to give the floor to EuroDIG Youth Participation Manager from the host team, Elke Palst.
Thank you, Nadia. So how did we do it? We tried to combine EuroDIG with two separate tracks, or not tracks, discipline. One educational and one also just fun. And how did we do that? First we started with a good welcoming dinner for everyone. So everyone could really know each other and get to know each other and where they were from and all kinds of stuff. Our group consisted of around 30 people from 17 different countries from all over Europe. So that made the atmosphere really interesting. Also, one fun part was the cooking school we did. That was really one of the highlights of the social events. Because with the cooking school, actually we tried to combine also the stuff we learned on the day. Jana will talk about that later on. Also with the cultural part of these people themselves. Yeah, so we just try to give them a whole learning experience. Besides that, we also wanted to, as a host, try to give them a good view of what the Netherlands is. So we provided all traditional lunches, and I'm now only talking about the food, but that was also a really important part of it. So yeah, that we just gave a good overview. And also we visited the local partner here, the Ministry of Justice and Security. So we had a whole complete program with an educational track and a good social event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alka. So I would like to give the floor to Jana Misic, who is one of my colleagues on the EuroDIG Planning Committee.
Thank you, Nadia. So I would just like to contribute by saying what were the main aspects of the program and which topics we tackled. So firstly, we were led as a programming committee by the EuroDIG's motto this year, which is cooperating in the digital age. So our program tried to reflect certain topics as well. And therefore also, as Auke mentioned, the local partner visit to the Ministry of Justice and Security was also complementary to the sessions throughout the days. So during the 3 days, participants engaged into discussions with experts and us as facilitators. One of the sessions, Human Rights in the Digital Era, provided an opportunity for them, coming from different backgrounds, to answer to questions such as what values and objects do we actually aim to protect in the cyberspace, which is a question that EuroDIG also responds to throughout its program. We tried to discuss some more detailed things such as stewardship versus ownership model and so on. Besides this aspect, we also had a cybersecurity session, which was very interactive, and a lot of our participants loved that. We talked about the hard definitions or the difficulties of defining cyberspace as such. We also tried to identify different actors and their competing and complementing interests and agency. So we reflected on the fact that for any progress that has happened also in the internet governance community and beyond that, we concluded that a long-term commitment to issues is necessary. So it is great to see that also reflecting in the EuroDIG the following days. Then we had a session on access and literacy as a group of young people, where beyond just having a lecture on what are the key aspects of this topic, we also invited them to tackle a real-world problem and create a project or an idea, a strategy, who would be the stakeholders in this project and how would they get funding for it, in a hope that they could maybe do this in their local communities. So they were required to do a 3-minute elevator pitch, and we had great groups that really did their best and were super enthusiastic and interesting pitches they had. We then also had meeting with the subject matter experts, and we had this moving debate really tackling head-on different issues about how to balance all these human rights and cyberspace behavior that we discuss on different levels here. So I would just like to thank the speakers and participants that came and spent some time with us, from the welcoming speeches from Arnold van Rijn and Salima Olita, who is, I think, not here right now, to our subject matter experts, Chris Buckridge, thanks, Urio Lansipuro, Olivier Crepin-Leblond, Tatiana Tropina, Sorina Teleanu, and our speakers, Sabrina Vorbau, Walter van Hols, and Professor Dr. Els de Busser. So thank you for spending time with us, and also Michael Ogia, who is always there to support EuroDIG. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I give the floor to the EuroDIG participants, I would like to share with you the process we used to build these EuroDIG messages. We started 3 months ago. We invited everybody online in April for the very first time. We hosted a 1.5-hour webinar where we tried to encourage the participants to share the ideas that they have about the internet governance and answer the following opening question. Which issues do you want to highlight as priority points at EuroDIG to European stakeholders? Together we built an online map in which we brought together all these different ideas and what topics they wanted to learn and discuss while they're here at EuroDIG and EuroDIG. So 5 days ago, we were so happy to welcome them here in The Hague. The youth messages were designed on the last day and facilitated by Virginia Balchunaite and Haris Girigis. We use this integration method, which is a group process which facilitates team building, innovation, and planning. It was designed by Stafford Beard to be non-hierarchical, so that communication can be open and synergy can be captured where participants have the freedom to explore different contents. In contrast to some protocols, facilitators in this integration, they do not take a leading role in introducing or shaping content, but concentrate on guiding the process. So all the content comes from the ideas of the participants themselves and what they wanted to share. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Lili Laisa and Georgi Aladashvili to present the EuroDIG messages. Please welcome them on stage.
Hello, everybody. Today I actually heard a really nice definition of what youth participation actually is. So youth participation is having the right of opportunity, support, sources, space, and means. And over the last few days, we had a lot of conversations with a lot of important people, and we learned a lot. But we're not satisfied yet, and I'll tell you why. We need way more than just appearance. We need to have a voice, which we don't have always. We need to be heard, and we need to be part of decision-making processes. You know, sometimes people tell us, don't worry, you're gonna be soon enough one of the decision-making people. But we worry. I mean, by the time we, EuroDIG 2019, will actually get to make decisions, we won't be youth anymore. So we have to get involved right now and not in 10 years or in 5 years. That's too late because the circle will start again. So sure, you can always tell us to participate more, to socialize, but still, it's not only us, it's you as well. We need you, the people in this room who have a say on something, to ask us, what do you think about this and that? What are your plans for future? How do you expect us to react to anything? Just ask us. I mean, why not use the honest and creative ideas for the future? And Georgi will tell you everything about our youth messages, but before he does it, I want to quote someone I really admire. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. And the youth of 2019 will never give up to get their rights. And now I'll pass over to Georgi.
So I would like to thank Lili for a very motivational speech here. And again, I would like to greet here everyone. My name is Georgi Aladashvili. I'll try to shortly and concisely summarize what we have decided to highlight within the EuroDIG 2019, what kind of topics. First of all, the first topic and the most important topic that we really wanted to accentuate, to emphasize, was the communication. What we'd like to see is the processes related to internet governance and the policies, especially the policies which are geared towards the youth, that's to be the information and how they're conveyed to the youth, that this process should be streamlined, that to be better, to be emphasized more, so the youth are more involved in these procedures, more involved in these processes. Likewise, when we are going into when we are concerning about the block of, let's say, the topic of regulation, we decided to really focus on the new emerging threats and dangers, like the issues related to privacy, disinformation, especially cyberbullying, and we thought that it would be an excellent idea to have sort of a regulatory framework which shall regulate and really which shall regulate a sort of a school curriculum, well enforced, well laid out, structured curriculum, which shall really lay down the foundations for this kind of system, for educating people in this kind of emerging threats, so they're prepared to really face these challenges. Likewise, another more, let's say, interesting topic that often gets sidelined is the algorithms, and specifically we would like to see a smart active, so-called SAPA, the SAPA, or Smart Active Participation Algorithm, more prioritized in the multi-stakeholder discussions. What we mean by this is with SAPA, the old ads will be gradually and let's say partially replaced by more involved Council of Europe, COE, COE topics, the COE policies, the COE initiatives. And with this, we think that we will be able to involve people on the entire spectrum of ages, and of course on the entire other kind of societal spectrums as well. So I know that we have limited time, so I'll try to summarize here fast. Of course, another thing is the ethics. Of course, we all know the importance of ethics, and in this kind of topic, we would like to see the harmonization of state ethics codes when it came to algorithms, seeing that if the states will cooperate within each other, they'll have a more effective framework in order to have the algorithms designed. So with the harmonization and approximation, this process can again be simplified and maybe even regulated more effectively and more efficiently. Another, of course, this is one more important topic is, of course, the inclusion of teenagers in the internet governance topics, especially the youth ambassadorship programs on all levels, like local, regional, and state. So the final blocks, I would like to mention now the cybersecurity, trust, and privacy. Again, very, very significant and important issues and challenges that we are facing. In order to reclaim sort of our privacy, we would like to see governments more proactively involved in it. We'd like to see that the governments are actually not taking reactionary steps, but they're actually contributing, actually taking steps to actually prevent these breaches, to prevent these kind of leaks. Maybe by fostering public discussion on the topic, raising awareness, or perhaps mainstreaming the topic of digital literacy, perhaps even the basic public educational level. And of course, how could we even imagine talking about the internet governance issues without cybersecurity? I certainly can't. And cybersecurity, what we'd like to note, is a collective effort. It's a collective effort that requires a multi-stakeholder approach. And we should, to achieve this approach, to achieve cybersecurity, we have a transparency while respecting privacy. And with this, I would like to see, of course, the Internet of all the IoT. So would like to see and ensure the IoT security as well with cybersecurity measures. And of course, the final, let's say, pillar is, of course, fostering transparency while encouraging technology. So this was the basic, let's say, summarization of the EuroDIG 2009 messages. We'd like to thank our organizers and coordinators for everything, and we hope that these messages will guide them further, will illuminate the path to the right way in this very often dangerous and, let's say, foggy and murky area of internet governance. Thank you. Do we have time for questions or?
So we unfortunately don't have time for questions, but what I would like to ask is if all the EuroDIG participants could stand up. Our EuroDIG participants are here today, and we want to thank you so much for inputting all your thoughts and ideas, so please give a round of applause, and please stand for all the EuroDIG participants. Thank you, Lili and Georgie, but also all our EuroDIG participants for these messages. Over the last couple of days, I had the pleasure to watch the EuroDIG participants becoming active in the EuroDIG milieu. Some as rapporteurs, remote moderators, but also active participants getting engaged in the actual discussions on the floor. And this is something that we are very thankful for, that you are coming out to support the community and being part of EuroDIG and stating and expressing your thoughts and opinions. I would also like to thank my fellow planning committee members for their support and dedication. Here with me on the stage are Elizabeth, Auke and Jana, but also in the audience you find Rafael, Haris, Olga and Oliana. And of course we would like to thank the EuroDIG Secretariat for fostering this program. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Nadia, for guiding us through this in the past days and drafting the messages.
Thank you. So when we started this process, for us it became clear very quickly on that the participants wanted to focus on solutions-oriented messages. They wanted something concrete that can be discussed, argued, and further developed, and move away from the abstract. They wanted to really focus on something that can create change. And during our sessions, they emphasized the importance of ensuring that the messages were kept in mind with a focus on the future and with access for all. One of their messages actually states, emerging concerns online, such as hate speech, fake news, privacy, cyberbullying, are not sufficiently discussed and taught at schools. We envision building a curriculum that is enforced by regulation, focusing on raising awareness of the online environment and developing necessary digital skills and digital literacy of the youngest students. It is clear that this is one of the issues they sought to address, and the particular focus on how regulations can be used to address online harms. Therefore, I would like to invite you to join our next session, Plenary 7, which is Tackling Online Harms, a Regulation Minefield, Present and Future. So I would like to invite moderator Virginia Balchunaite and the key participants of this session to come on the podium and take your seats. Thank you all very much.